Hello, this is Daniel Dobrzansky from RFE2Go. I'm going to complete a quick demonstration to show the software's ability to manage old legacy programs where the user does not receive any CAD part or CAD product files from their customer to do a quotation. This will involve receiving old engineering such as old TIFF files, old JPEGs of old designs, old drawings, old part lists and bills of material, or even old CATIA files where there's no MBD information embedded within the models. So this will involve utilizing our external job functionality where the user will send an internal request to your own internal engineering team where the data entry aspect will be completed. So the software has the ability to ingest the information and finalize the quotation for the full process. The first thing that the user has to do is complete the request of all the part numbers that the user wants the information to be input for. So this will involve specifying the part number list, attaching a job name, description, currency, attaching all the information that will be required for the quote. So this can be done externally as well, where the user can send an email, as an example, to the user where the information is located to extract information such as the old engineering, or you can actually attach all this information to our portal, adding all the part numbers to the list, adding all the engineering files, and sending the whole thing as a package. So you basically will specify the job name, you attach all the engineering required for this job, and you will send this request to the portal to be automatically emailed to the user who will be completing this operation. Once the data entry engineer receives a notification through email that there's a new request awaiting, the person will go onto the portal, log in using their credentials, and start the process by reviewing the engineering and starting the data entry process. So they will review the request, download the engineering that has been sent through the portal, download the CBS file, and start the whole process of doing the manual data entry. Again, the engineering can be attached to the portal, or it can be also specify where the engineering will be located on the company servers, so there's no interaction with the portal by sending engineering outside the company. So it can be done both ways, utilizing the portal capabilities of attaching engineering data, or you're utilizing your own internal cloud storage solution or your own internal servers to locate where the engineering will be found. So once you start downloading all the information, you basically open the CBS file and start the process of manually inputting the data that's required for the software to complete the quote. So we have numerous ways of doing this. We have our own user interface Excel file to do this process, part number to part number, and you'll be inputting all the information. So the first process, once you validate the full part number list, you will start generating a CBS file. So the software basically will create the list of part numbers that you need to enter, and then you will go part by part, starting the manual data entry process. So you will start reviewing the engineering and start inputting the information from the engineering, to complete the data entry process. So you'll be reviewing the raw material requirements for the component. You will be analyzing the part sizing. You would review the processing information. So there's NDT, chemical processes. So in this case, this is a Boeing design, so it has all Boeing specification and codes. You can use the drop-down menus to speed up the process. So all the information is already incorporated. So this full user interface already has all the databases behind it to speed up the whole process. If you make a mistake, the user gets notified that the code or the spec is incorrectly entered. So once you completed this information, you would generate the part number and go to the next item. And as you're completing everything, information is being generated within the CBS file. So once you completed all of this information, you would save it and basically submit it through the portal. Another cool feature that the user can utilize is as you're working within our environment, you can use our data manager to manage the process of completing all of the information and attaching all the drawings and all the part lists and all the files that you're using to complete this operation. So this way, once all this is completed, the user will have ability to manage the process and manage all the drawings within the software. So you would open the file and you would review all of the part numbers and start managing the data internally. So here you would have everything that's attached that you'd use to manage the process. And to complete the process manually, if you went to the second part number, you would see where the engineering is and start attaching all the information. So if you're working on the second part number, you would attach whatever 3D models you have, whatever conditions of supply you would have, whatever engineering designs or drawings you have, everything that you're using to manage this process, you would attach, so that way, once you're completing and validating the quote on the software, everything is attached through the hyperlinks. So the interaction by the person approving the quote, he or she doesn't have to go into the folders, locate the data. Everything will be up front with a single little click, and everything will be attached. So once this process is fully completed, the user will basically submit the proposal. So they will start the job completion process. They will attach the CBS file. They will attach the data hook. This is where all the hyperlinks will be completed, and submit the job. So now all the information that was used in the data entry process to complete all the 20 part numbers have been submitted. The data hook has been submitted. Now the user can go back to the software and validate and confirm the information and approve the quote. Now the data entry process has been completed, the initial user who started the request within the software can now go back to the CPQ Aero software and start validating and approving the quote for each item. So they will go through the list of parts. They would review the raw material information. They will review the manufacturing information. They will review the final processing information and do their due diligence to approve the quote. And at the same time, you have all the information up front. So this is where the data manager comes very handy, because you can start opening all the files that were attached during the whole data entry process. So you can review the part list, you can review the engineering designs, you can review the conditions of supply, and you can even open the 3D models if they were attached during the data entry exercise. So if you want to review the CATIA files or any 3D models that existed, you can utilize our 3D viewer and do your due diligence of the component to make sure all the costing that the software generated is correct and it makes sense. And this is where you would manually change aspect of the quote depending on how you want the component to be quoted. So once you finish your quote and all the whole approval has been completed, you can now save the quote, and you can extract the quote into Excel and into PDF for the submission. And if you want to change anything after, you can open the quote and do your changes and save it again. So now you have everything saved within the software, and you can make whatever changes you want, an infinite amount of changes as you're negotiating the components, as you're negotiating the contract with your customer. So this completes our process of how you would manage old legacy programs and old drawings and old TIFF files that are not supported by a software because there's no model-based definition engineering. Whereas if you had model-based definition engineering, so new CATIA files, new CAD part, new CAD product files, this process would be automatically completed by selecting engineering, and the software would automatically extract this information. But this is the process if you're doing old designs or you're doing other OEMs that our software is not supporting. So you will still go through the same process, do the data entry, import the information into the software, and do the validation, confirmation, and approval within the CPQ Aero platform. Thank you for your time.